Yeah, it's your boy Crypto Blood, and welcome to another episode of My Two Satoshis. It is October 26, 2018. Got to give a shout out to my man Chad DC for this Kass Soul on Ice classic 90s hip hop yet again. I'm loving the 90s hip hop, people. Thanks for the song request. Jump over to cryptoblood.io and copy one of those Make Crypto Great Again hats. $28.99. These joints are so dope. I get so many comments when I'm out in public with this hat on. People think it's the Magna hat initially, and then they look a little closer and see it's a Make Crypto Great Again hat. But over there at cryptoblood.io, get you one today, $28.99. What's good, people? Hope you guys are doing well today on this Friday, end of the week for most of you. Today we're going to be covering two articles that really caught my eye. One being the petrodollar, that cryptocurrency that Venezuela President Maduro launched or attempted to launch earlier this year. I think he's having some issues with really getting this thing going, but you know, whether it's for good reasons or not, or for nefarious reasons, I still applaud his efforts at really trying something new. And I think the reason why I keep covering this is like the 5th time that I'm covering this petro. The reason I'm covering it is because I feel like this is a very good step for, and a very good blueprint for other small countries to follow and learn from. And it'll, you know, other countries will get better at doing it, issuing their own sovereign cryptocurrency. And I think this will really help break the paradigm, the fiat paradigm that we're in. Now, that doesn't mean you can have a fiat cryptocurrency. That's what most people fail to realize. You can have a fiat cryptocurrency. So let's not get that twisted. But what I'm saying is, I think seeing the trials and tribulations that Venezuela goes through with their hyperinflated bolivar, I think it's lost over 90,000, 100,000% of its value. It's been hyperinflated that much. They're going through a crazy hot mess of issues with their currency, and it just shows what crypto can do to help and what fiat does to hurt countries and their citizens. And we're going to look at that. And then secondly, there's a new investigation, a new report, and it's not really a surprise to me, but I do want to highlight it. It shows that over 56% of all news outlets in the crypto space are being paid for the articles that they write. I don't know if it's 56% of the articles are you know, paid articles, or if 56% of the news outlets are just in general being paid. We're going to look at that. It's caught my eye. Now I'm going to look at these articles with even more of a lens of skepticism, right? You know, it's very important, and I live by this. If I'm doing something that's sponsored, that I'm paid for, it is boldly labeled. It is shown everywhere. You must be like high on DMT if you can't tell what content is sponsored on my channel. I keep that line very black and white, because I want you guys to know when it's my opinion and when it's a paid opinion. So this should be the same in the news, crypto news industry, but it's not, and just something that we need to pay attention to. So evidently this report is showing that you can pay for a sponsored article to be written, right? But then you can also pay an additional amount to get a written article that doesn't say sponsorship. So we're gonna look at that in a second. First, let's look at that Groundhog's Day market cap, $209 billion just as yesterday. Bitcoin's dominance, 53.7%. just as yesterday. And nothing really, man. I don't have anything to show you guys. I mean, as you can see here, the line that I did extend outward is holding. So we did get a test of that, and it bounced right off of that earlier today. So I would say by the 28th into the 29th, roughly the 29th, we have to make a decision, either up or down. That's it for today on the TA. But the first article is out of BitcoinNews.com. Venezuela to pay salary bonuses with Petro despite lack of working signs. And I think they mean a lack of sign of a working Petro cryptocurrency. So let's take a look at this. Venezuela President Nicolas Maduro has announced the long-awaited salary bonuses for workers will be paid in the upcoming weeks. The caveat, though, is that these bonuses are being paid in the Petro cryptocurrency. However, there continues to be no indication that the national cryptocurrency is a functioning one. So Maduro says here in the coming weeks, the payment schedule of the bonuses will be fulfilled with the new salary table set in the Petro, which is from the economic recovery program that started 58 days ago on August 20th, and will begin to pay all the bonuses as it should be. And if you think about the future, think about saving, think about the gold and Petro savings plan. The reality is that there appears to be no sign of a Petro cryptocurrency in existence. There is a Block Explorer webpage which launched in early October 2018, but there are no blocks listed, only a search bar where someone could enter a Petro transaction ID. However, the format of the transaction ID is not known, making the Block Explorer unusable. An in-depth investigative report in September of 2018 found that the Petro was non-functional, which was confirmed by a complete redesign of the cryptocurrency in October of 2018. Maduro calls on Venezuela workers to invest their bonuses in gold savings and Petro, claiming that the state is laying the foundation of savings plans that guarantee the worker a future. Venezuelans will not be encouraged to save after years of hyperinflation that peaked this year to an astounding 172,000%. I was way off, according to the Café con Leche index, where someone buys the same cup of coffee at the same coffee shop in Caracas to gauge Bolivar inflation, and this inflation rate is exponentially increasing. The redenomination of the Bolivar to the new sovereign Bolivar and the announcement that the Petro backs the Bolivar has not slowed down the inflation rate. Yeah, that's this article, and as I stated, it's hilarious what they're trying to do, but I truly do think this is a good step in the right direction, and I'll tell you why. Because it gets people used to using cryptocurrencies. It's on the blockchain, they'll have an app, they'll have an address, so it gets people used to using it. So once they use this fiat cryptocurrency, they'll have the ability to say, okay, wait a minute, I'm not going to use this. I'm going to take possession of a Dash or a Digibyte or a Nano or some other cryptocurrency. They will have the skill set at that point to utilize it and be comfortable using it. So I think this is actually, even if Maduro is doing this for nefarious reasons, I think this is a good thing. I think it will end up being good for the citizens because they'll get used to using cryptocurrencies on a daily basis, and then they'll finally one day realize they don't have to use their Petro fiat cryptocurrency. They can use a truly decentralized cryptocurrency at their leisure. So you guys let me know about this. Do you think the Petro is working? Does anyone from Venezuela out there know about this Petro? Have any family members? Is it working or what? Let me know. I want to know for sure. I think I had some people in my comments that were from Venezuela before, so you guys chime in on this and let us know what's going on. The next article is out of Decrypt Media, and the first part of it is talking about what China's doing. Chinese legal law, contract, something, I don't know. But what caught my eye was the second one, which is about fake news. Actually, this time, this one further blurs the old legal boundaries. An investigation published Thursday by Breaker found that some 58% of crypto news outlets write fawning content for cash without marking it as sponsored. Wow. Corinne Faith, a former reporter for CoinDesk, sent out emails to 24 major crypto outlets asking how much it would cost to get a glowing press release write-up, free from the sponsored tag. That's the main thing. Decrypt wasn't included in the investigation. 14 of the targets happily named their prices, with some, cough cough, news BTC offering as much as $4,500 for the honor. Yeesh, it says here. There's already something inherently awful about co-opting a news outlet for advertising, yet this seems dodgier. Sponsored content unmarked as such could lull naive investors into splashing out on dodgy ICOs. Maybe Mr. Doom has a point here. So the Breaker investigation or article is right here. I'll leave a link to this as well. But this was pretty crazy, people. It says here, we asked crypto news outlets if they take money to cover a project. More than half said yes. This article started out with an email, one that arrived in many inboxes years ago. I can't remember when the first of them came exactly, but it would have been sometime in 2016 when I began contributing to CoinDesk. Every few months, continuing to this day, I get something like this. So it shows the email example here, ICO this, ICO that. And he says, I send a reply like this. What you're proposing is completely against journalistic ethics. There's absolutely no way I would accept this kind of offer, yada, yada, yada. I'm definitely not the only one. Earlier this year, John Biggs documented exactly the same phenomena, exposing the PR representatives who reached out with offers of money to post on TechCrunch. I get requests like this almost every day, and almost all journalists I talked to reported the same. I know that I would never take money for coverage, nor would any serious journalist. But covering the cryptocurrency industry, I read content on a daily basis that comes from a large number of outlets that I can't vouch for. If these offers to pay for posts are out there, can we rely on all of the journalists and editors to turn them down? Can we believe in the objectivity of the coverage we see every day? Or has it simply been paid for by a company flush with cash? As a Breaker investigation, we'd ask to pay for coverage of an ICO and see who said yes. Unfortunately, we were given a yes far more than expected. So here's the context of their investigation. So first, some background. Over the past decade, mainstream media has either ignored blockchain companies or reduced blockchain coverage to a few brand name projects, Bitcoin, Coinbase, or the most sensationalist elements, dark web, drugs, assassinations. While many scams have been enabled by sloppy coverage, it's also true that honest blockchain companies often struggle to get attention in the media environment that is either hostile to crypto or disinterested. As a prime example, see Twitter, Google, and Facebook's ban on ICO ads earlier this year. In the face of such obstacles to obtain coverage in traditional media or on social media networks, paying for press releases or creating sponsored content has often made sense for many companies. It's been the only way to get out the word. So then the article, I'm not going to read the whole thing. It just kind of goes through what they did. So on an assumption that most outlets would not openly admit that they took bribes for coverage, if asked directly by a journalist, it seemed reasonable to set up an undercover investigation on the topic. And then next, they compiled a list of blockchain media sites, so on and so forth. So they started to begin the process of sending emails. And then finally, here's what they found. Of the 22 outlets who replied conclusively, 12 of them, more than half the total, were willing to publish paid content without disclosing it as such. This is a big claim to make, so where there was any doubt, we asked for clarification in a follow-up email. Only the websites that unambiguously offered to publish native content unlabeled for a price are included in the total. So not included in the count are 2 outlets that hinted at being willing to do so under certain conditions, but did not ultimately confirm it. Add those 2 and the total would be around 14 out of 24, or 58%. So the prices quoted for the range from as low as $240 to as high as $4,500, which reflects the size and reach of the outlets we investigated. So the chart below gives a breakdown, and you might see some names you recognize. So here's a list of the 12 that said they will be willing to take that moolah to write an article under the guise of a normal article, but it really is a sponsored article. It says here: Crypto Ninjas, Coin Intelligence, Coin Speaker, Crypto Potato, Blocked, BTC Manager, Coinado, AMB Crypto, Global Coin Report, Crypto Invest, Bitcoinist, and News BTC. A few of those I definitely source my content from, so I have to just definitely be more careful about articles that I do source from them, just to make sure it's not really a paid article. Reading down the list, you can also see why price isn't the most important point. Some of the outlets we surveyed are small and don't command much influence in the crypto sphere. Others are far more prominent and are used as trusted news sources by many traders, investors, developers, and others with an interest in the cryptocurrencies. And then here's an email from the Bitcoiners and their rates. Among them, Bitcoinist and News BTC are high traffic websites and regularly rank in the top Google results as news sources when searching for content related to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Both quoted us an extra premium on top of the cost of a sponsored article publication to publish it outside of the sponsored category, essentially representing a press release under the guise of legitimate journalistic content. Man, here you go, people. So what do you think? I'm not going to read the whole thing. Here's the breakdown of their pricing, though. Here's a table. Article that I'm reading sums up here. It says what it means. If media outlets are willing to take money to publish news, in quotation marks, then the concept of news as a whole becomes suspect. It's no longer an indication of what's relevant or important in the field, but more a reflection of who has the deepest pockets. And this is very true. It also shows a huge level of contempt for any of the readers of these websites. So there you have it. Just wanted to kind of give you guys that. Just be careful, you know, have a critical eye when looking at these articles online. I already tried to. That's not, you know, I definitely do that anyway, but now I'm going to up that a little bit more. You guys let me know about that. Do you think this issue is very pervasive and is a big issue in the cryptocurrency space? Of course, we know outside of cryptocurrency is a whole nother situation, fake news and all that stuff. But inside of crypto, do you think this is an issue, or can it cause issues in the future as far as how the outside individual looks at cryptocurrencies and how it's painted to the masses? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you guys like and subscribe and click that bell too. That's pretty much it for today. Let me give a shout out to my man Chad DC again for that Razzcast Solo on Ice. And it's your boy Crypto Blood. It's my 2 Satoshis for October 26th. Unpaid, opinionated content. Holla!